How you doing? Is everybody okay?
Good.
Yeah, all good, all good.
Good. It's good to have Eric here as well, and he's in full Tottenham kit as well, which I like to see. So, guys, we've got a few things to chat about today, and viewers, please join and ask questions as you join, and feel free to be part of the conversation. Let's talk about that very, very dismal performance we had yesterday. I just wanted to just play a video, just play some audio from Nuno when he was asked about the performance. This is what Nuno said.
Tough match, like we expected. Always away from home in the Europe Conference League is tough. I think we compete well. We compete well in terms of attack. I think we should finish the actions better. Some combinations that were missing, and there was a period in the second half that we lost a little bit of control. But in terms of lack of focus in the moment of the goal, details that we should improve, like we always do. Conference League is always a chance to have minutes on the players that work hard and deserve. So this is what it was all about. So let's progress in terms of the group. I think we have 2 games at home against VTS, against Rennes, and then we have to play Mura. That we can solve the situation of the group.
Oh, interesting comment there. So it's Europa Conference League is really tough. Like, Adam, let me come to you first. What do you think about those comments from Nuno?
Pretty textbook answer, really. It was a disjointed team. It was a team of reserves. It was a team of players that should have been fighting because they want to get in the first team. It was a team that lacked ideas, and I think he's pretty much trying to cover and save face. Terrible performance, really. Positives, Joe Rodon thought had quite a good game. It was good to see him back in there. I thought he was quite solid. Dele Alli, I don't know where Dele Alli was. Celso, again, question marks over him. And a couple of others. So total different game from my watch from what Nuno has just said there, really. Lacking combinations, they lack quite a few things. So I don't think any player really, apart from Joe Rodon, maybe the goalkeeper, really pushing for first team. But no, nothing good there I saw.
Okay, thanks for that, Adam. Eric, let me come to you. What do you think about the performance? And also, what about the comments by Nuno saying, we're playing the team that's like mid-table in the Dutch league, and he said it's going to be really hard for us. I mean, come on.
I honestly don't know what he's saying. I wish I wouldn't have heard that because now I have a different look on it. When I first saw the starting lineup an hour before the game, I was like, okay, we're probably going to lose this game, despite where Vitesse is at. I know they're a Dutch team. I didn't know they were mid-table, but I knew we was going to lose that game. Not lose, but we was definitely going to struggle that game. And I want to say this about the players. It was terrible. And I want to say this to the players. Players like Winks and Dele Alli, they complain about lack of playing time. Well, you have a game right in front of you. It really doesn't mean nothing because as long as we win the home games, we're good. But you got a game right in front of you against a team that's way below us in quality, and you want to earn a first team spot. Why didn't you do it right there? That's the perfect opportunity. And so that may kind of got me a little upset. Ben Davies was absolutely terrible. Dele Alli, where is he? And with Lo Celso, terrible, but I give him benefit of doubt because once again, I thought we figured this out. Lo Celso is not a CDM. Why is he playing alongside with Winks? But he'll look decent. Scarlett, not ready at all. He's talented, not ready at all. He can, he's good against the under 19s, 18s, and all that. First team right now, not even close to being ready. And I was kind of disappointed, but like I said, he's young, but he's just not ready. But going to Nuno's comments, why would you say that? You only make yourself look bad.
Cam?
Well, I mean, he made it very clear what kind of team he was going to be taking. I think the big issue for us is I don't think anybody can say that putting a team out like that was a bad thing to do in a midweek game when you've got some big games coming up. That's not the problem. I don't think any of us would doubt his courage for putting out a team like that. What we do doubt is his completely lack of backbone when it comes to the bench. He left everybody at home. That just absolutely made no sense to me at all. It's no problem putting out the youngsters, putting out the B team, whatever, but things go wrong. You have the big guns sitting on the bench. You bring out 2 or 3 players. You bring out Mora, you bring out Son, turn the game around. He had nobody. He had Markandai on the bench, if I'm pronouncing that right. And that is not shocking. It's bad management. It's beyond bad management. I mean, I whatever anyone says about the team he put out, there's a reason behind it. We all know that. But give me a reason for not having anybody on the bench at all. And before we go on, let's be clear about one thing. There were 9 internationals in that team of 11. 9 internationals. I mean, some of them has been internationals. But I mean, I'll say it again. I mean, there was I made a comment yesterday. The headline in the Evening Standard in London was Bergwijn to shine in Holland. I mean, what they're talking about, the spotlights, what they call Bergwijn? Because definitely the guy who's on the field called Bergwijn were not shining for us, that's for sure. Because, I mean, what was that guy doing? I mean, I know we need to have a go at Delhi, which we will talk about. I mean, rather than a go at him, I think we need to really talk about what's happened to this guy. But Bergwijn was probably one of the worst worst performance I've seen since he's put on the Spurs shirt, I have to say. I thought the back four didn't do too badly. I mean, they didn't really have much to do. I didn't even think Winks was that bad, to be honest. They had they had a few shots on goal, not that many. But, I mean, it was a combination of Delhi and Bergwijn that basically destroyed that team. Those two just didn't bring any creativity, create any chances, give anything to the poor 17-year-old. 17 years old, you put on the field, and that's the kind of guys that are giving you quality or service. It beggars belief. It really does. Okay, well, listen, I'm going to play another clip from Nuno because I really want you guys to listen to Nuno and give me your thoughts on what he said. This is his thoughts about this. He's asked another question about the players, so let me play that.
9 internationals, I think, in the starting 11. So, I mean, do you think, as difficult as it is to make 11 changes, do you think you can expect more from those guys than they showed tonight?
No, I knew that the game is gonna be tough. I'm not here to judge the players. I'm here to try and improve them. The analysis and the judgment, we do it behind closed doors, like you.
So Eric, he's here. He's not here to judge the players. Well, if he's not here to judge the players, what the hell is he there for?
And I immediately thought about Mourinho right there. Mourinho would have been on him right there, and rightfully so. Mourinho would have been on him. I understand protecting your players from the media, but a performance like that, I mean, and you can talk about how it sends a different message if you criticize them in the media. How else you're going to get into them? Because that was terrible. You got 2 used to be first team, but 3 if you count Davies. 3 used to be first team starters on the field and did absolutely nothing. And so I'm not gonna just defend them and it's I'm not gonna judge them. Hell, you need to be judging them because that was terrible. And what happened to setting high standards here? To dare is to do. Where's that?
Yeah. Adam, I mean, we don't expect him to slag off his players in public, but at least as a team, you could say the team didn't perform well enough. We didn't do this without saying certain names. Don't you think so?
I think he was trying to be political. He knows the pressure's on him. He knows that if he named and shamed players, then he would have had questions about his team selection. I think he's trying to protect the ones he's left behind because he knows that his performances haven't been good this season. So he doesn't want to get any more injuries. He wants to keep that first team at home. He doesn't want to risk anyone. And that's going back to why Cam was saying, why didn't we have a couple of big names on the bench? We should have done as a backup. But he hasn't done a Mourinho. He hasn't named and shamed and then done a second part of Mourinho, which is totally deflect the blame from himself, like he usually does, and says, I can't fix this. I work with what I've given.
But was he lying?
Mm-hmm. He wasn't lying, but everyone knows, it's going back to my point last week, he isn't the man for the job. He's taken on a job purely knowing that he wasn't the first team, the first choice. But he's in a right mess, and he's been dropped right in it. We're in this massive start of a transition period where we're trying to get rid of players that Pochettino tried to get rid of, that Mourinho didn't want, and he's pretty much been shoved in there and told, you need to perform. You're the glue. You need to get something out of this squad because on paper it looks good. In reality, it's not good. It's not good at all. So January can't come quick enough in my eyes. It really can't. Have a fire sale, do whatever you can. But let's just get rid of some of these players that really, time and time again, haven't performed. And if Nuno doesn't improve, then he might be out the door as well. Is it the right time? I throw this question out to all of you guys. Is it the right time now to start talking to other managers as a backup plan? Because I don't see things really, really improving. I don't see Nuno's tactics improving. And certainly the performance the other night, I think it was just hit and hope.
But Adam, against Mura, he had the Son and Kane on the bench. So when it wasn't working well, he could just bring them off and they did the job and we won. So why would you change that against, Vitesse? I mean, this guy's not thinking straight, is he?
I think he's playing it safe. Because if you bring them, they get injured. Like I said, Kane and Son are the most two important players, really, for goals, performances. Kane's world-class, Son is world-class. If those two get long-term injuries, especially the way Kane gets injured with his ankles, it's a massive, massive risk. But again, you've really got no one in the bench. They let Bale go back to Real Madrid. Despite some of the criticism, he put in 21 goals in all competitions. So you haven't replaced that 21 goals. They've brought no one really in who's going to chip in. Celso and Bergwijn, it's very lucky if they actually have a decent performance, let alone create anything or score anything. And you've got Eric Dyer at the back, who I just can't have him at the back. He's just one heart attack away from a own goal. He can play fantastic for 85 minutes and then some ricochet, which always happens, or a penalty. So, it's chaos at the moment there.
Okay, excellent. Cam, I'm going to come to you, but we got to hello, Josimar. Welcome back, Josimar Valle Sanchez. Thank you very much for your question. Josimar saying we don't really care about that cup, and you can see it by the way we've played all the games. That's a good point. I mean, it may be a third-rate cup, but it's a cup after all, isn't it, Cam? It's something we should be trying to win, shouldn't we?
No, we're going to win anything else, are we? I doubt if we're going to win this cup either. I mean, Hosmar's absolutely right. In a way, it clearly shows that this team thinks they're too good for the Europa Conference League Cup. Well, obviously, since we've won so many other cups, why would we be bothered with this one? I mean, there's no room in the trophy cabinet, is there, to put another cheap little trophy in? So, I see where it's coming from. I mean, the delusions of grandeur have got to stop. It's absolutely ridiculous, right? That we think we are this great, fantastic team which has got this record of winning whenever we decide we will win this cup, so we go for it, right? We decide we're not going to win this cup, so we can put a second team in. We're not Liverpool or who can put out a third-rate team in the early rounds of the Carabao Cup and still probably get to the semis or lose, and they don't care because they're going to win something bigger somewhere else. So those delusions of grandeur have got to stop. This was probably our one good chance of winning something. I mean, the fact that Mourinho's team went to Northern Norway and lost 6-1, which is his biggest defeat in 1,008 games, and he looked like someone had taken him on the field and dragged him around it at the end of that game, is about the only thing I thought Nuno would turn around and say, well, at least Mourinho lost worse than I did. But it's no excuse, because we thought Roma would be our biggest challengers there. And they got two has-been managers running these clubs. I hear that the Roma fans are now calling for Mourinho's head. So don't be surprised to see him at Christmas at Newcastle. Who knows what would happen? I mean, there are some crazy things going on. I want to pick up on Adam's point about Nuno and about whether what is his thinking about whether we need to be looking for another manager. We've got a week coming up when we're playing West Ham, we're playing Man United, and I think we're playing Burnley in midweek in the Carabao Cup. On the performance that we've seen, we probably won't beat Burnley. West Ham and Manchester United, but we probably can say goodbye to 6 points there. Now, that week is really going to define Nuno's season. I mean, let's just say he wins all three. If he wins all three, I'll guarantee you he's staying till the end of the season without a doubt. And we'll all be sitting here saying he's turned it around. It was a great decision. He's now rested those players. He's getting the best out of them. This was brilliant. What a tactical masterstroke. The question is, for all you guys, is do you think we are going to win all these three and Nuno will turn it around? Because this week is, I believe, a very, very big week for Spurs. And I think Liverpool are coming up soon, very, very soon too. Right.
Yep.
So straight after that, and if that's 9 points that we probably won't get. If we did get 6 points from that, would you say Nuno's turned his season around? I'd be interested to see what everyone has to say.
Yeah, Eric, let me come to you. I mean, Cam raises a good point. We rested all these players against Vitesse, so we should be expecting to at least perform really well against West Ham. So if we lose against West Ham, Eric, what does that say about Nuno and his way of doing things?
Yeah, that's one thing I forgot to say. Like him not bringing any of our true starters to the Netherlands with us, that decision can only be vindicated by a win at West Ham. And if we don't do that, then why are we keeping him around for? And I'm not looking forward to Man United game, even though I see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as an inept coach. But I just Man United has too much quality where it doesn't depend on the coach's tactics to beat us. And so, I'm not looking forward to West Ham nor Man United. Liverpool, I'm just going to sleep for that one. Burnley just always – is it Burnley away?
Yeah, it's Burnley away.
It is, yeah.
Kiss that one goodbye as well. Yeah. But it's just
I
for
need
some reason
positivity from you, Eric. Come on, be positive. I don't want you to be negative.
Why did
on
he
this
rest
show.
all these stars then in this cup? That
Exactly.
doesn't matter.
Exactly. And but West Ham, tough team. Moyes has got the best of his players so far over there. Man United, we know Man United. Burnley, it hasn't been a good season for them, but somehow, some way, they're always going to turn up against us. Thinking I'm trying to be positive. Positively, a couple bad results. 2 negatives, two bad results. 2 negatives equal a positive, and that positive is Nuno sack.
Let me play another clip, Adam. I've got just a couple more clips. Because I want everybody to hear what Nuno's been saying, so you can comment on it. Let's go with this one now.
Is one of those clips his resignation?
Not at the moment, but I'm working on that one. Let's try it now. Let's go for this one. This talking about the players, Adam. Then I want you to do comment, and I'll go to the other guys.
They perhaps feel they are the second string players who play in this competition, as opposed to the ones who play in the league.
No, I don't consider this way. I think that a football match is always a chance to compete. So our approach is always the same. So we expect all the players to compete in all the matches, no matter what competition we are involved.
So basically, Adam, you're saying that he doesn't consider it to be a second 11. He expects every player to compete. I mean, this is all jumbled gobbledygook, isn't it? I mean, I'm getting confused myself. Can you put some light on this, Adam?
He's definitely contradicted himself, and it is a second string team. It doesn't, no matter what you come out and say, it's a second string team. What those players should be doing is they should be fighting, and in any match they're played in, and showed, right, I'm good enough to be in the first team, and they haven't done that. So the press know this. This, like, going back, banging on the same drum, that there are big players in there that should be performing way above how they are now. Dele Alli is, to me, I look at Dele Alli and I see another David Bentley, who's fallen out of love with the game. He's gone to that peak, and Pochettino got the best out of him. The press got on his back a little bit of how he would get cards left, right, and centre, how he'd get sent off, or he'd get wound up too much. And obviously, someone's had a word with him in the background, and I think he's just lost the passion for the game. He should have gone to PSG on loan. I think it would have been an amazing move for him. They would have hopefully rediscovered his form, and he would have come back to Spurs. We could have sold him or kept him. But Nuno there is just, he's contradicted himself. He should be laying into these players and saying, if you want to be part of this Tottenham team, this top club team, you need to perform. You need to show why you need to be in the first team. And Mourinho would have done that. And I think Nuno is just, he's deflecting a lot of blame at himself. He's protecting the players too much. So there's big questions.
Yep. Okay. Cam, do you want to chime in on that, and then we go to Eric as well?
Yeah, so. I mean, the clip that the issue for me really is that if you are a Spurs player and you've been playing there for a while, let's take, I don't know, Harry Kane, Son signed a new contract. Harry's got a few years left, and you're there to win trophies. You're there to win medals. You're getting the money that you're getting. You've already signed the contract, however well you play or whatever. And then comes this competition. You're not even on the bench. The club's managers now decided not to take this seriously. And you look around at what the other competitions, what the other teams are. You'd think, well, at least our one big chance is let's throw everything at one major competition. Because the bigger clubs are going to throw everything at the FA Cup. Some of them are going to throw it in the last rounds of the Carabao Cup. Who is there to throw anything at the Europa Conference League? Nobody in England. We're the only ones in it. So it was probably a chance for us to do something. And if you're one of these big players or a player that cares about the club, whatever, how are you going to feel right now knowing he's not even taking you on the bench? And the coach is saying, so what? We've got 3 more games. We'll turn it around. I mean, that's the attitude that the Spurs fans want to see when it comes to games. It's like saying, very similar to the comment you said there. Well, we only lost 5 games. We're 5th. That's good enough. I mean, what else do you expect? What else do you want? We'll make it. We'll get somewhere. We'll do something. So, some way. It's just not what we're looking for. I'm surely not just Spurs fans, but any fan of any football club expects their team to try to achieve whatever's put in front of them, to achieve the best that they can. You're supposed to do that in life and everything that you do. Forget about just this club. But to have, what were the headlines in England of this game? You know what it was? Disinterested Spurs. Not crap Spurs, because we've had that all the time. Not really poor performance Spurs, because we know all about that. But now we've sunk to new levels of low where we just don't care. Disinterested Spurs. That was the headline I was reading in Sky Sports. Disinterested Spurs. Didn't look like they wanted to win. Didn't look like they wanted to be there. Didn't look like, still looking at their watches, seeing what time the plane home is. And I think that is when we sit here and look at it, is for all of us just disheartening. It's just soul destroying. They're like eking out every little bit that you've got left that you hold on to and just destroy it.
Okay, Cam. I mean, Eric, what about what Josmar Valle is saying? Is that on paper, Nuno hasn't done too bad. We've only lost 5 games and we're 5th. So he's got a point, hasn't he? We're still just slightly outside the top 4. Why is everybody getting upset about Nuno?
You got to look at how he won. You got to look at how he won. Like, when I was watching the Newcastle game last week, I was asking myself, was this really a good Tottenham performance, or was this a bad Newcastle performance? And and to the answer to that was, it was a bad Newcastle performance because we were just able to pass around, and there was no cohesion in that Newcastle squad. So I thought we just got lucky. I mean, yeah, it looked bad when Callum Wilson first scored, but the homecoming soon went away with the Saudi owners. But so it was a bad Newcastle performance, and we just scraped away with that. Now going to the interview, what he said, I feel like Nuno is afraid to criticize his team because we see all these reports in the media. I mean, despite we seeing with every manager that we have is always, Nuno, has he lost the dressing room? There's only a couple players that are still feeling him right now. And so even though we see that with every manager we got, but something tells me I think he is afraid of criticizing his players because he's already on the back foot with the locker room right now. He did say going to Dele Alli, what Adam said. He said it's down to him to help. Is up to Dele Alli to help him excuse me, it's down to Santo. It's down to Nuno to help Dele Alli rediscover his form, which I don't understand why is that. I mean, you've put him in games. He's been poor against Arsenal, which led to his benching, and then he's poor against the mid-table Dutch team. So I mean, to me, is to hell with him. You know, I mean, like Adam said, I think he's just lost it. And Mourinho said in the documentary, it was like, you know, when Dele Alli first reached his peak, which we thought wasn't his peak because they thought it was only high up from there. He reached his peak from we now know from today's standing in 2016, 17, 2015, 2016, 2017. You know, being a great player is reaching the top and staying at the top. So I wouldn't consider Dele Alli a great player because he's reached the top and then he just slowly kept going down. You know, it's like he lost his work rate and his effort, and it just completely went away from him there.
Okay, let's move on now. I'm getting a bit tired talking about Nuno. I think we all agree that he's out of his depth, and I'm getting even more depressed. I want to come to Adam now, talk about some comments that Jamie Redknapp made on Sky Sports, that he was fuming apparently at Daniel Levy for not accepting the 130 million for Harry Kane at the time. Basically, he's saying they could have used that money to rebuild the squad. Kane would have been happy away from the club, etc. Any thoughts on that, Adam? Should we have sold him in the summer and got the 130 million or whatever it was?
Yeah, I think we should. I said it last week. You know, I love Harry Kane, brilliant servant. Is he one injury away from a massive layoff? I think that's one of the things that Man City looked at. They looked at his age as well. I think Man City were a little bit insulting from what the press was saying, that they offered, you know, peanuts plus 3 or 4 players in exchange. I think we should have taken it because we could have used that money to get in 2 or 3 really good players. Would he be the same Harry Kane that comes back? And, you know, okay, he's just started, you know, performing. Is he going to hit that same level? I don't think he will. I don't think the motivation is there. I don't think the team will play to his strengths as well under Nuno's tactics. So I think it will. And, you know, come January, the press, if Man City aren't doing well, which I think they're going to struggle for goals, then I think they will jump on that bandwagon. The only reason why it didn't really happen was 2 things. One was Daniel Levy, and 2 was Harry Kane's brother has never had to negotiate with another club. So he was totally out his depth. Obviously, you know, family ties, you're not going to get rid of your brother as an agent. So I think they'll revisit in January, and I think Harry will push again. We made the error of not getting another striker, even on loan. You know, why didn't we extend Vinicius' loan period so we at least had some cover on the bench? Why didn't we go in for Danny Ings? So we've left ourselves short really badly. So just trying to really see how you go forward with that. And the interesting thing that no one's really sort of picked up on, not even the press, is that the last couple of signings by Spurs have been loan to buys. Now, is that Spurs being clever, where they've bought crap players in the past and they can send them back? Or is it really we're skint and we don't have the money yet to pay for these players up front?
A lot of contact.
Well, Cam, do you think Galini should have done better for that volley from...
Well, I mean, hopefully he's on loan too, because he hasn't really impressed me one little bit. I mean, I think that just listening to what Adam says and the comments from Amanda are very true as well. That you just put up, but I just want to pick up on something that Adam just said, which is important, which was about the squad and the manager and how they fit in. And one of the problems that I've seen since Pochettino has gone, why was Harry and Pochettino successful where others failed, is because I don't believe that Levy really understands. Basically, you've got to have a manager that can fit in with the squad. I mean, and I give you the example of would you have a neurosurgeon taking over? They're both doctors doing bowel surgery. No, you'd have a bowel surgeon specialist. And what we put in here is we just say, oh, manager, oh, football team. But I mean, you go into a hospital, there are about 25,000 different doctors performing different things. You don't say, "Oh, doctor, please cut me open." It just doesn't work that way. And what we've got is a guy who is not a fit, maybe a fantastic neurosurgeon, but he definitely ain't no bowel surgeon, because this guy cannot get out from this team because he doesn't understand how they play or what they do. And I think what Levy doesn't bring to this squad is that basic understanding that I don't have an engineer fly an aeroplane. They might both work on planes, but usually a guy called a pilot flies a plane, not the engineer. And it's that basic stuff that I just don't understand. And I think that this comes back to that comment that you put up there, which is we've given up on being the best because all we see is Spurs. Oh, that means top 5. That means top 4 because the name gets you what you need to get. But when in football, when in any kind of competition, does that get you anywhere? It's not like, Pete Sampras won all those games by sitting on the on the net and say, "Well, I'm Pete Sampras, so just give me the game." And you still have to play, and we think we've lost that simple connection.
Okay, Eric, let's come to you. In January, we're going to have, according to Adam, we should have a fire sale or get rid of a whole load of people, which I don't disagree with, actually. So obviously, Dele Alli is going to be at the top of that list. Who else do you want to get rid of, Eric, in the January transfer list? Come on, this is Eric is being given.
January?
Yeah, who do you want to get rid of, mate?
All right, well, first, I want to sign Kessie on a free. We got 6 months
Is he
left on his
available on free
contract.
from the first, is he, Frank Kessie? Yeah.
Why would he
he's
come to
available.
Spurs?
Yeah, why would he come to Spurs anyway? But anyway, this is a wish list. I mean, Eric wants to sign him. Let him sign him.
We get rid of Dele Alli. Hopefully, we can scrap maybe 2015 off of him. Get rid of Winks. To be honest with you, I would love to recall Sarr. If you can't replace Winks, just recall Sarr from loan. I'm trying to see someone that we can easily replace. That's what's going to happen in January. All the fire sale is surely going to happen in summer, but I feel like we can probably only get rid of 1 or 2 in January, and the big replacements comes in the summer. So I wish Dele Alli can leave, but I don't think he's going to leave because
no one will buy him.
I don't think anyone's going to buy him. But we have 2 central attacking mids, and that's Dele Alli and Lo Celso. So if we get rid of Dele, Hill could probably fill in that spot, but I prefer him on the left, a little less centralized. But to be honest with you, I don't think we sell anyone. I don't think we sell anyone. No, not my fire
What about
sale.
Matt Doherty? Do you want to keep Matt Doherty? Or, sorry, Adam, did you want to come in there?
I was going to say it depends who's negotiating.
Yeah,
Is Levy going to outprice everyone? Is he going to get his clause in and stick his nose in, or is he going to leave it to the DOF? To do the negotiations.
Like we could sell. And I'm looking at a man. We're not going to sell Kane in January. No, that's not a big money type of move to. I can't remember the last big move signing you've seen in January, but no, we should have sell Kane in the summer if we're going to be going through the rebuilding stage. I still don't understand to that day. But
Eric, let me put it to you: if Newcastle are going to make a Robinho type signing in January, wouldn't we sell Kane to him? I mean, even if we got 100 million, I think I'd take it.
Yeah. Sell Kane, but I doubt Kane would go to Newcastle. But
well, we don't know.
Keep saying that someone offered 100 million. Who offered 130 million for Kane? There was no offer for Kane apart over 75 million.
Well, we don't know privy to that information, so we don't know.
Well, I also want to say that who said there wasn't a fire sale in the summer? There was definitely. All those players were up for sale in the summer. Nobody wanted to buy junk, and unfortunately,
we struggled to get rid of Sissoko.
2 million for Sissoko. We paid 30 plus for him. I think he was the highest signing highest paid. So at the highest, we paid the most for any player at the time when we signed him. We got 2 million. Nobody wanted. We had to look at Aurier. He had to drip up his own contract to get out of the club. Nobody wants to buy these players, and that is the reality that we have to accept. Dele signed another 3 years. I think he's got to go on his contract, and I think he's on 150,000 a week. Now, 150,000 a week. I would walk around the pitch like he does as well. Who is going to pay that for Dele? Which team do you think is going to do that? I mean, I think it's sad. I don't know what's happened to this guy. He's 25 years old. He was supposed to be the brightest future that English football had, and he's become a laughingstock. So take the money and run. That's what's going on at Spurs right now. Is these players are looking around and saying, Well, sell me if you dare, because right now I'm on the books on really nice wages.
Well, Cam, just before I come to Adam, Cam, explain to me or explain to the viewers, why can't they just rip up Dele Alli's contract like they ripped up Aurier and say, just go? Explain that to everybody.
Aurier ripped his own contract up.
So what, he forfeit all that money that he was due and said, I don't want it, I'm leaving.
Absolutely. If Delhi would, now if you're Delhi and you're on 150,000 a week, let's very quickly do the math here. That's like roughly 16 million a year, right? Yeah. Then times 3, or maybe I'm out. I don't know. Let's say it's worth 25 million for 3 years. Yeah. Would you rip it up?
I don't think I would actually, no. No, exactly. So basically, Adam, according to Daniel Levy, he's the best businessman ever the world has ever seen, even though, I don't agree with that. But how can he sign up all these players? Was he just caught up in the wind of the 2016-17 season thinking these guys are going to be great? Did he just get caught up in that?
Yeah, pretty much. He's well known. On transfer deadline day, they say, he's a tough negotiator. He's the best in the business and stuff like that. He's not a football man. He's got very little football knowledge. He's not a football man. He said it in the All or Nothing documentary that running a football club is nothing like what he's used to. It's the toughest job he's ever had. And I think others that have worked under him, Steve Hitchin, Paul Mitchell and stuff like that, I've obviously found that working with Daniel. And funny enough, in Pochettino's book, he clearly stated that Sissoko was a Daniel Levy signing, that Daniel Levy actually said to Pochettino, I believe that you'll get the best out of this player and turn him into a world-class player. Well, we saw how that worked out. The same when Cam brought up about Harry Redknapp, we were three world-class players away from challenging for the title. And, we just needed that final push. And Daniel Levy signed Ryan
Nelson and Louis
Nelson.
Saha.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be his legacy, isn't it? When we could have won something, he just signed Ryan Nelson, Louis Saha.
So that kind of showed
Cam's favourite signing, I think. But guys, where do we go from here? I mean, this guy's not going to move anywhere. So, what are we going to do? Hello, guys. Hello, mate. Premier Hotspur TV here. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Evening, guys. How the devil are you? Let's hope Kane and Son keep up scoring record against these Spurs. Yeah, we hope so, mate. Thanks for joining. I hope your channel's going well. Yes, thanks. I don't know. Without Kane and Son, Cam, what the hell's going to happen? Nothing, I don't think.
Well, I mean, the thing is, right? I mean, we had a comment earlier which said, sell Kane, bring in some young talent. And I think you guys are absolutely right in nailing it in terms of fire sale. The only way the Spurs will bring money in right now is by selling Harry Kane. He's the only proven player you got who actually has a value. Now, Adam, Eric, Ray, you're all sitting there. You've got a checkbook in front of you. Let's say we give you £100 million at your fantasy team, and you've got to buy some players, and all of these Spurs players are up for sale. Which of those players would you put in your team? Would you actually purchase any of those players that we want to sell? And I think that selling Kane and bringing in some young talent is the only way. It's the only way that hope that this team has got left, because nobody else has got any value. And Adam made a really good point earlier on, which he said we buy these players on loan to see if they're any good or not. Well, the Celso was on loan. Apparently, we thought it was the best thing since sliced bread until he got a permanent contract, and then something happened.
Good evening, Brian Dargle. Welcome, man.
It's
How
a
you doing?
no-win
Long time no see.
situation here. It's an absolute no-win situation.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it, Adam? We've got all these players that, nobody else wants, so we're stuck with them, aren't we?
We are. And how do you sell them? Do you leave them out the team? Because there's no other real players to put in, because we haven't really got a good, strong, in-depth squad. You've got to hope that you play them and they play well, that you can put them in a shop window and sell them. So it's a big dilemma. Nuno's got to look at a better way to get the best out of his team. The massive difference between Nuno and Pochettino.
A great comment, Premier.
Is they were both great man management as well as tacticians. Harry Redknapp had fantastic eye for talent. There's a couple of players that Harry Redknapp will bring in that Spurs fans would question, and then when you actually see them play, they'll be fantastic. I don't think Nuno's got any of those qualities, and I just don't see this team playing for him. I don't think they want to be there. I don't think they want to play for the badge. I don't think they want to play for the manager. So realistically, I think it's going to be a struggle to hit that top 10 upwards spot. I think we're really going to struggle. It's kind of got cross between Jack Santines and One Day Ramos written all over this.
Yeah. One Day Ramos went something at least.
Yeah. What do you think, Cam? TV saying there's also dead food. What do you think, Cam?
I mean, I have to agree with Premier Hotspurs. I mean, the problem is very reluctantly, because he might be dead food at Spurs, but he's a number one for Argentina. Something is seriously wrong there, isn't it? Absolutely. Every time I've seen Lo Celso play for Argentina, I think, look, this guy plays for us. I mean,
are we playing him in the wrong position?
Well, we must be, or we can't seem to get the best out of him. We just cannot seem to, the players around him. Again, I think Lo Celso is somebody that needs a lot more game time. I don't believe Lo Celso had the worst game on during the week. I think that the players around him were so poor. I mean, it's a Højbjerg situation, isn't it? And since he's got Skip, he's become a 20 times better player than what he was last season, even though he was probably our best player last season. Because suddenly he can now start doing stuff and he can start moving around. Feel sorry for Lo Celso for 1 minute. He's stuck in there. He's stuck in there with these absolute people around him who can't pass the ball. I mean, the change I've seen with Dembele, he doesn't dwell on the ball and do pirouettes for about 5 minutes before he then loses it. He's actually beginning to pass it early. And so that's a little improvement in his game. But I mean, think about it. Who has he got that he can play with? And I'm hoping that if he gets some consistency, that can change. And just to answer quickly this question, I know you want me to move on. Is he that man to take us forward? I believe that in a week's time, after the Man United game, we will know for sure. Unfortunately, the answer we all know will not be the one to say. I don't see us saying yes, but I will definitely know for sure after the next 3 games. And the Liverpool game could be the end of it all.
What do you think, Eric? A question from Premier Hotspur TV, and then I'll come to Adam. Is Nuno the man to take us forward? I think I know the answer, Eric, but I'm going to give you the chance to say it yourself.
No. But here's the thing: when you say no, who can we replace him with? I mean, we can't go back for Fonseca now, because now he's going to look at Newcastle, and he's going to have almost an unlimited transfer budget over there. So why would he come over here after we couldn't pay his wages? So, no is the answer to that. But who are we going to replace him with? And I just don't know. And
who would be your first choice, Eric, to replace him? Say if he goes after the next couple of matches where we don't get good results, who are we going to get in? Is it Ryan Mason again for you?
No.
It's
I don't know why. For me, it's
Eddie
Eddie Howe. Why didn't we go for Eddie Howe in the first place?
No.
Hungry
Eddie Howe's
I need to come to Adam. Adam needs to have a say. Question, Adam, is Nuno the guy to take us?
In terms of what they manage.
He's not. He's not. Why didn't they go for Eddie Howe? I think they know that Spurs fans would go absolutely mental.
But we're happy with Nuno.
He was never first choice, was he? So
no point Cam taking a guy that's not first choice and replacing with another guy who's not first choice. What's the point?
Parker we'd been happy with.
I think they should have gone with Redknapp. I really do.
Harry.
I think Harry Redknapp would have been a good shout. I think an interim.
Sorry to upset it, Harry, but he's too old.
There's no such thing as being too old, mate.
No, I think he'd get the best out of the players, even if he was like an assistant. He went to Bournemouth to help out Jonathan Woodgate on a temporary basis, and their results instantly improved. They were lucky not to get promoted. I quite like the guy from Brentford. I saw an interview with the Brentford chairman, and they laid out how the club is basically done, how they bring in young players, they work with them, they get the best out of them, knowing that Brentford's policy is to put them in the shop window and sell them for ridiculous amounts of money because they know their academy works. Mm-hmm. And I know that was one of Daniel Levy's, one of his business plans. And why are we not doing the same? Why are we not copying the business model at Brentford, where we buy good young talent and we produce them? And if we get a crazy offer for them, okay, we let them go, because we know we've got more upcoming stars that are going to come in.
I just want to answer some of the questions coming from the viewers. Let's go to Eric for this one, then we go to Cam for the next one. What do you think Spurs' main problem is when it comes to winning trophies? Squad depth, player quality? Thank you, Hayan, for that question. Eric, what's your answer for that?
Under Pochettino during our so-called glory years, but our good years, I would have said squad depth. We didn't have enough. I know Levy wanted to reinforce that 2016-2017 season with Sissoko, but he clearly wasn't it. That season, we should have got a young and talented Tolisso. Y'all remember him from Bayern?
Yeah, Florentine Tolisso.
Yeah, we should have got him, and Wilfried Zaha. We was also in the run-in that season. But no, it happens at the wrong time. Squad depth, I think squad depth has been the problem for us.
Okay,
because
great.
when we get rid of the first team, like
we'll come to all the questions because this is an interactive thing. Thanks very much for that, Eric. So Joseph Valle, Lo Celso is stuck in the same position as Lamela. They're being played everywhere, so he can adjust to them. What do you think, Cam? Is that fair that Lo Celso is being played all over the place, so it's hard for him to adjust?
Very fair, because what he's got in Argentina in the team is a very specific place where he plays behind and works closely with people like Messi. I mean, that's the difference, isn't it? But yeah, I agree. I mean, we use Lamela in such a way, right? Where every time we had an issue, just stick Lamela in. At times you want him to run forward and score goals. At times you want him to chop players down. I mean, what did we actually want him to do? We didn't actually know. All we thought, we got a problem, stick him in there and let's hope he does something, And I think that they think that they may be doing the same with Lo Celso. And it isn't a problem, but it is, again, I go back to the manager. I mean, the manager, you see, the thing is what I don't think people get is we would happily accept that we're losing games if we can see light at the end of the tunnel, or we can see a project that is slowly coming together and that there are some issues. What we've got here is we limp through games, some we win, some we lose, and we just see that no direction at all. And just to go back to the last question, why don't we win trophies? Because the trophy that we think we can win, we decided we don't want to win. So, no problem. Yeah, Europa Conference. Yeah, we'll win the next 3 games.
We don't want that one. We've won so many trophies, we can afford not to bother that one.
So, there is no direction. If Nuno had come out and said to you guys, hey, look, we ain't going no more. Look, I'm going to put everything into the Conference League because I want this club to have a trophy at the end of this season. At least we're saying there's something. At least we've got some direction. At least we know where we're going. We've got some idea. Forget about top four. Think our best team is going to be at the Europa Conference League. At least we've got something. We might not like it, but right now we don't want to win that. We don't think that's good enough. We don't think top 5 is good enough. What are we? What are we after? What do we want?
Is anybody interested in Steve Bruce? He's left. Adam, are you interested in Steve Bruce?
I think we need to remove Premier Hotspur TV from this chat.
No. I think they'll Simon winding it up, mate. I know he's
clearly trolling.
No, hello, Sir 12. Good evening to you, mate. Graham Potter. Yes, I totally 100% agree with you, Sir 12. He was my choice from the beginning. Even Cam wanted him. I don't know about Adam and Eric, but these guys, I mean, Graham Potter would be amazing for us. What do you think, Adam and Eric?
He's very up and coming. I think it would be a good choice. And I think the press had him quite highly as well. So, I think he would have done well. Really well.
Apparently, he said he didn't want to work with Daniel Levy. I mean, why
you
wouldn't anybody want to work with?
Can you blame?
You can't blame him. No.
Eric, what do you think of Graham Potter?
Back in May when his name first popped out, I was like, hell no. But the current reality now, yes.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we knocked
Steve Bruce.
Steve Bruce any worse than Nuno? Just really out of interest.
I'm not sure, actually.
I mean, you know what? If we was truly like in a dire situation, I wouldn't be surprised if we go for Sam Allardyce.
I'd rather have Ramon Vega than Steve Bruce.
I know he was a manager.
Thank you for that question, Sir 12. I'm going to come back to Premier Hotspur. Thanks, guys. He's do some really great questions. Mason is being lined up for the Chariton job, is he? I didn't know that.
He is.
Is that true, Adam?
Not as far as I've heard, no. I think Mason knows that secretly he's going to be taking over from Nuno pretty soon on a temporary
Is this
basis.
you, Adam, responding here?
It's not, no.
Oh, Primoz, as long as he doesn't. Yeah, I agree with you, Adam. As long as he never manages us again. Although I'm worried about, if Nuno does have a bad run of results and they need to put somebody in there, Ryan Mason's going to be the man. Unfortunately,
I still think we had a chance. I don't know. No one's mentioned why Scott Parker wasn't good enough for us. He was a Spurs player. Eddie Howe's a hungry young manager who got the best out of a really poor quality squad and went somewhere. Why do we think that anybody else would want to come to Spurs? I just want to know. Why.
Because we're a big club. We got
a
massive.
Who wanted to come apart from Nuno?
Our stadium is so big.
We got a stadium. We got all these facilities. In theory, on paper, we got a good team.
I think most Spurs fans would have taken Scott Parker, and said, you know what? I can see this guy building something over time. Maybe not this season, maybe middle of next season, but I can see something coming out of this project, right? Was Nuno ever a project? Even they didn't believe in him. They gave him a 2-year contract with a get out of jail clause. I mean, wow, great confidence in a manager.
Cam, answer the next question from Silence. Welcome, Silence. Thanks for your question. Should we sell Lo Celso and Ali? They aren't good anymore.
Yeah, but who's out there buying?
No, forget about that. The question wasn't would anybody buy them. The question is, should we sell them or not?
I think that Lo Celso, we need to get him in his right position, and we can still get the best out of Lo Celso. Don't sell Lo Celso, sell the other crap around him. So I want Ali gone. I want definitely that one person because everybody's so...
He said Bergwijn.
Yes, Bergwijn. Why don't you talk about Bergwijn? I mean,
leave Bergwijn, he's injured.
Oh,
look at that.
God, take it off now.
If you sell Steven Bergwijn and Eric's got just a shirt they can't use anymore. Let's get to these questions. Most Splendid, we need to sell a lot of players. I agree, Most Splendid. How many players do you think we need to sell and who do you think we need to sell? Please put that in the chat.
Bergwijn, and then
Yeah, we didn't ask you. Ultimate Fighter Champion fan, thank you very much for your question. If Nuno is not the man, who is it? Will you like Harry to stay? I don't know. We don't. Harry Kane. I think we all agree should go, don't we, guys? Eventually. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Who is the man to? Well, we all think Graham Potter would be great, but he doesn't want to work with Daniel Levy. So, Adam, if it's not Potter, then who would you want in? You're talking about Harry Redknapp, aren't you?
I'd love Harry. I don't know. Most decent managers turned us down. They went for the.
I think it's a question of who will come to us, not who we want. Really, that's a different thing.
Who's willing to work with Levy? Who's willing to work with a budget that we haven't got because we're so badly in debt? Who's willing to work with a squad that Pochettino tried to get rid of half the players that Mourinho couldn't do anything with, despite his negative style of football. It's no one. I can't think of anyone who really put their name forward. And
Hello,
said,
Nico.
Yeah,
welcome
I'll
to
do it.
Stream, mate. Good to see you again. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Just popping in, stopping by.
That's good. That's very good, everyone. Hi, Terry. How you doing, mate? Good to see you again. Terry's got a question about Erik ten Hag. Do you agree?
No,
wait.
I thought
Go on, Eric.
I thought I saw a report that he's scheduled to be a Barcelona manager in 2 years, next season.
But forget about that. Do you think he would have been a good manager for Tottenham?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. But he turned us down now. So
I heard that they thought his English wasn't good enough. I don't know. What do you think?
Does that really matter? I mean, when Pochettino first came to the league, he had his assistant Jesus Perez as his translator. I mean, I don't, and he took Southampton 7th in his first and a half season. But no, English really shouldn't be a reason. I mean, to me, it's the quality on the field, and I happened to watch that Ajax Dortmund game, and man, I was jealous. I was jealous that they have him and we don't, and he would have been perfect.
Nico, what do you think about Erik ten Hag as a manager?
Yeah, he's a good manager. Plays attacking football. Seems to be technically very, very good. Would be interesting. You guys, given up on Nuno already, or?
Cam wants him out straight away. Adam doesn't want him there. Eric doesn't want him there. I don't really care what he does. But I think everybody's given up on him, mate, because he put a second string out and we were useless against Vitesse.
Yeah, but he has to prioritize, right?
Yeah, but we were just saying that the Europa Conference League is a cup we can actually win. We think we can win it. So why wouldn't you prioritize on that?
Yeah, I think it's probably the same as with Pochettino. He wants top 4. Simple as that.
Yeah. The Premier Hotspur TV, Simon is saying, guys, apparently been approached by a job. So Eric Ten Hag could be coming in, Cam. What do you think about that?
I don't think it's going to happen. I think there's too many opportunities for a young manager like that of a team. Tottenham, I think Adam really nailed it in a way. You're stuck with a number of players that you're forced to work with. The money's not there. Are you going to bring Ten Hag in and say, here you go, there's 100, 200, 150 million, go out and get buy some players and improve the team? If you look at the outlay, I think we're the 6th in the Premier League in terms of wages and the size of the squad. And we've got to trim it down, but nobody's going. So I think what you need, again, I'm going to nail my colours to the mast here and say it will be someone like a Scott Parker or a Eddie Howe to come in and to bring some youth, some exuberance, and some passion back into the team. Does anyone see Nuno with passion when he speaks or when he manages that team?
Oh, Nico's gone. Yeah, I mean, guys, whenever I hear
Nico.
Whenever I hear any of Nuno's press conferences, it always seems downbeat and argumentative and not. What do you think, Adam? He's not really that a nice guy to talk about, to the press. What do you think?
He's totally different to how he was at Wolves. Wolves, he was the main guy. He was relaxed. Wasn't a lot of pressure. Wasn't a lot of expectation of him at Spurs. Like I said, he knows, he's not the first choice. He knows that there's a lot of politics at Spurs. There's a lot of politics with Daniel Levy. He knows that Mourinho quickly lost the dressing room. He knows Pochettino lost the dressing room, being a friend to a lot of the players later on towards his management side of his reign. So I think he's lost. I think he's trying to find his way. He's trying to find his best team. He's trying to find the way how he reacts with the players. It come out in the press that a lot of players don't like the way he standoff. And he's like that in his press conference. I know Alistair Gold has mentioned that a few times. So I think he's trying to keep his head above water. I think he's hoping that he can turn this around, make a name for himself, and then hopefully get picked up by a big club. I don't see it happening. I think he'll be gone January, if not early.
Cam, okay, Adam, thanks for that, mate. I think maybe January could be the time for him to go. I can't even pronounce the name of this
Bendiciones.
Yes, what does that mean?
That means prayers.
Okay. So do you want to answer that one question? Do you want to answer that question, Cam?
This is they're giving you blessings. I'll answer that, and the answer is I've already said it. There is no passion anywhere on that field anymore. I see 2 players that play with real passion. That's Son and that's Mora. You can never fault their passion when they go out there. I think you are getting a bit more from some of the players at the back, and actually, I don't really see it. And Højbjerg, I'm sorry, I'm going to give it to him and maybe Skip. There is a core of players there which are really good, which can potentially be top 4. But right now, the manager doesn't have any passion. And I mean, the other teams are just getting stronger and stronger. I like that. It's hilarious. But the point that I wanted to just quickly make here is there is Barcelona, Manchester United, and Newcastle, 3 teams with much better squads. Potentially will have Newcastle with the potential for a much better squad, and the other 2 with much better squads than us, who will be looking for managers very soon. We all know it. Probably by the end of the year, early next year. Where, if you were a manager out there now and Tottenham were within that mix, where would you go? You wouldn't be.
That's a good point, isn't it, Eric? I mean, even if we want to attract the good managers, we can't attract them. Isn't that right, Eric?
Not anymore. And I kind of accepted that. And I'm surprised it didn't shake, Levy a little bit when we first went for the Bayern manager currently right now. And he turned us down immediately, and that was back in May.
No,
I was like, oh, really? So and that kind of sent me. I think it's sending all us back to earth because we're no longer at our top point that we once used to be. So yeah, I can't see us attracting any managers, and Levy thinks a stadium can attract anybody, but it can't. It's the players and it's the structure of the team, and we currently don't have that structure. There's no backbone anymore here.
Ali to Newcastle. I don't think they're going to 150k. I think that's if we can do that, that'd be the best deal in history. I think.
Yeah, so I take that about 6 million that he's going to walk away with.
Premier Hotspur TV coming up with some great questions, guys. These are really good questions. What's the club's DNA? Because I think it definitely no ambition. What do you think, Nico? What is our DNA? Because we spoke about the DNA when we hired Nuno. What is our DNA, Nico?
Bottling it.
A bottling DNA.
Yeah, that's.
Can we sell that DNA to people? Bottle it all up and sell it.
Absolutely. It's been like this since '94 when I started supporting the club. So
yeah.
We
got a bottling DNA. We got a lot more
sure.
comments. We're going to try and get through all of them. Terry Wright is saying, Dele and Winks both need to move. We need Kessie or Renato. 100% agree, Terry. But what we spoke about, I think, before you joined the stream was who is going to take Dele and who's going to take Winks. Nobody wants them, Terry. Nobody wants to take them. So what are we going to do with them? That's the problem we've got. Josimar is saying he wants the Leeds manager. So what do you think, Adam? Bielsa for Tottenham?
I don't know. I mean, he's done well at Leeds, but
has he?
Well,
to be honest with you,
he's kept him in the league. He's kept him in the league.
Will they stay up this season?
Will Spurs stay up this season?
hey, Adam. To be honest with you, I think Bielsa would be the one to take the job because Bielsa likes taking hard jobs, like Leeds and Bilbao. Like he doesn't like taking the attractive offers. So if one person would accept the Tottenham job, I think it would be Bielsa.
Well,
yeah, I think
he turned us down. I heard. Why had he turned us down?
I'm not sure. People who are easily manipulated would want to work for a leader. Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. That's part of the job description. You have to do exactly what the chairman says. You can't have your own thing. Most bluntly, need to sell at least 5. Dele, Winks, Davis, Doherty. At least those 4. And I would add Eric Dyer to that.
What about Bergwijn? What about
Bergwijn?
Yeah.
Adam, I think it's too early to sell Bergwijn. What do you think? And I'm going to come to Nico as well on Bergwijn.
God almighty, really?
I don't think it is. I don't think he suits this league. I think he had one really good performance, and that was against Man City on his debut. Every time I see him play, he just gets pushed off the ball. No, he needs to go.
Okay, Nico, I need some Bergwijn love from you. What do you think about Steven Bergwijn?
I think
Nico.
I totally agree with Adam there because.
Oh my God, I'm outnumbered,
yeah,
man.
because when I see him play, I don't see that eye of the tiger. I see he's lost in the final third. He doesn't look like he has confidence. I tried to give him time and everything, but I totally agree with Adam. I think he doesn't. If it's the club, the league, but it's just he doesn't have the confidence. Simple as that.
Okay.
So,
and Eric, last to you. Do you think Bergwijn stay or go?
Stay because the two managers the two managers that he's currently working with does not fit his play style. So I'd love to see him under attacking.
Yeah, that's a good point. He has another manager that actually believes in him.
We'll do a fundraising to get you your money for your shirt back when you leave.
Okay, then I might change my mind then.
Silence. Thanks for your question. I think I'm outnumbered 4-1. Oh, no, it's 3-2 that we should sell Bergwijn. So they want to sell him, but I don't want to. Do you think we should get Zidane? Again, I would love. I mean, I'm not sure Zidane's a great manager, but would he come to Tottenham? I mean,
no.
What do you think, Cam? Is Zidane going to come to Tottenham?
Zidane's not going to come here. Why? Why would he? Because I mean, you got these managers will Pep Guardiola come to Tottenham? Would some of the they're used to having £100 million players on stupid wages that us guys probably won't make as much in our lifetime that they make in a month. And as Adam said earlier, the teams more or less manage themselves. I think Eric mentioned that Man United have got so many good players that they can almost bypass Solskjaer a lot of the times and just get on with it. In a team like Tottenham, that guy would be totally lost. I mean, he'd run, and I think that's the reason why people like Conte looked at this and Nagelsmann looked at this and thought, you must be kidding. I'm going to go to that club. I don't know how to do anything. If I can go to Bayern and have whoever the hell I want at the top of a league or, in relation to the other guy, Conte, wait out for Man United or whatever, why would they come to Tottenham? Because they know it's already a recipe for failure. You need someone like Scott Parker who needs to prove themselves. That's why I keep going on like that. Potter won't come because he's already proving himself from there, and he'll probably be the next Newcastle manager.
Maybe, yeah. Most Blunted is saying we need to sell the 5 that we said, but also added Rondon. I'm not sure about that. I wouldn't sell Joe Rondon. Rodon, sorry.
Rodon,
I think
yeah.
it means Rodon. Rodon is playing for somebody else, I think. But what do you think, Eric? Should we be selling Joe Rodon?
No. And no, not at all. And to answer that, we signed him last season. Yeah, he was from the championship, but no, it's too soon to pull the plug on Rodon. And he hasn't been that bad, to say, for a few games that he's played. You know, he didn't look that bad in the midweek, and so no. But Dyer definitely. Sanchez, wait a little bit on him, but Dyer,
Sanchez.
Yeah. What about you, Nico? Would you sell Rodon and Sanchez, Dyer, as Most Blunted is saying?
No, I like him. I like Rodon. I think I don't understand why Dyer gets time ahead of him. To be honest, I think he's composed. He looks more like a typical central defender. I think maybe. I thought about Dyer so much. There has to be this Portuguese thing. He communicates directly into the manager, and he has this calm presence. So he has to be good with people, but he's not a very good footballer. That's the problem.
What do you think, Adam? Do you agree with that, Dyer? Should we get rid of Dyer?
I think it's time he goes. I like him. I do like Eric Dyer. If you watch him closely, he lays into players. He seems to be the only player that sort of lays into each one of them, especially at the back, which I think you kind of need because there's no real leader. You know, people have mentioned that in the past that we don't really have any leaders on the pitch that are going to lay into others and say, come on, you know, you need to up your game and stuff like that. Maybe moving back into midfield. You know, back into defensive midfielder alongside Højbjerg as a centre back. No, he's too many mistakes.
Not even in the back three.
No,
yes,
no.
I disagree.
Okay.
And that just proves how.
I think Dyer's a different player this season. I think his positioning's been a lot better. I think
he's improved. He has improved.
I think compared to where he was and the position that he was the last time. And I hear what everyone's saying because last year he was one of my worst players. And if there's been any player that has been the most improved player at Spurs this season, Dyer's got to be one of them. Definitely ain't Bergwijn, definitely ain't Dele, definitely ain't Ndombele. So for me, I'd like to see Dyer in a back three. I don't like to see him in a back two because I do think he gets exposed, which comes onto the fact that what the hell is wrong with Nuno? Why has we never played a back three?
Yeah,
his success was based off of back three at Wolves. I don't understand why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ben Diciones is saying we need an Argentinian or a good South American manager. Are there who's the South American managers out there?
There's been a lot of talk around the River Plate manager. I just forgot his name just like that, but the River Plate manager
is it Gallardo? Is it Gallardo?
I want to say so. And he plays an attractive brand. And kind of surprised that we didn't look at him last summer.
Well, there's Bielsa, of course.
Yep. Nico, any good South American managers you would recommend?
Well, I go back to the structure. You know, it doesn't matter because the structure is so limited, and so then you can have, basically a lot of managers. But we need better players. We need to ship out the players that's not good enough, and buy good players when we buy them. So we have so much to make up for. So I'm not focusing on the manager question, to be honest.
Yep. Adam, is Nuno a zombie? I think he might be a zombie, actually. What do you think? When he talks,
I think he definitely is. Yeah, he definitely is.
What's that program on Sky? Is it The Walking Dead? I'm sure I've seen him do it. Yeah. I'm sure I've seen him on there. So I think, but I actually don't like his style of, he's not very personable on the TV when he talks to people. He's always got sort of aloof, isn't he? He's always like.
He's always saying he's not making friends.
Tottenham?
I think that all the Spurs fans want to see is a bit of passion from their manager, and at least you did get some of it from Mourinho. Even if he is going out and calling out players or whatever he's doing, at least he was trying to engage. I don't know who this guy's engaging with. He's not engaging with the reporters. He's not engaging with the fans. He starts sound a little bit like a zombie because he refuses to engage.
Yeah, he does. I mean, apparently they don't like. He's very aloof with the players as well.
Yeah.
I always told my coach this. I'm like, the first thing, just anything, a goal or we go down, the first thing the players look is towards the manager. And he's just always standing, arms crossed, and just walking around his technical space. You see no clapping, no encouragement from the manager. And I don't like seeing that. And I don't like seeing that. I need a box office manager on the touchline. He need to be emotional and stuff like that. So yeah.
Okay, so Simon is saying that Mason is approached by Charlton. Okay, good luck to him if he gets there. I wish him all the best at Charlton. That'd be great.
Well, we do know that Nuno will be the one wishing him the best and pushing him out there.
Yeah, probably. Adam, can you take this question? Do you think, from Spurs Super Fan 100, do you think we have a good chance of top 4? Looking at the dodgy state of other teams like Man United, I think we might. Do you think so, Adam?
No, not a chance. Not
No?
a chance. No. I think what we're going to see is a manager merry-go-round. I think Solskjaer will go. And I think Fonseca will come in at Newcastle. And then we'll see what we could have had maybe. But I don't think we've got any chance of top 4. There's too many teams that have strengthened really well that are going to compete. I just think we're way off it. Okay. Going back to the previous low, talking about Nuno and his stance on the touchline and stuff like that. Can you imagine if we got Gattuso? What sort of reactions we would have shouting on the touchline and in press conferences and stuff like that if Gattuso come through?
He would have come round our houses by now, all of our houses.
Nico, do you think we got a chance of top 4?
No.
Say that again.
I was just going to say, Nico, thanks for that, Adam. Nico, just want to get your view. Do you think we got any chance of top 4?
Well, it's hard to see because you never know because you have this other team as Man United. I think they keep Solskjaer. That's great because he's not going to win them anything. So that makes it a bit the chance a bit bigger, but it's very hard to say right now. I think I wouldn't say that at the current time. It might change,
Eric,
though.
I'm not even going to ask Cam because I know what the answer is. But Eric, what do you think?
Nico, you got to think about it. I don't even answer that question on our quality. I answer the question around the league, and I look at Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Leicester,
even
all good teams. Even Arsenal. I mean, they just cleaned Aston Villa just now. Yeah. I look at them and I was like, we can't go up against them because the 5 teams,
is he starting to produce?
5-6 teams I just mentioned, I can only see us being maybe Leicester or Arsenal, and so I just don't see we have a chance at top 4. Top 8 would be nice, but do we even have a chance at that? Everton looks good,
Yeah.
Kane to Arsenal, is that going to happen or not? What do you think? Kane to Newcastle, sorry. Kane to Newcastle.
I guess 100 million. Anyone who offers 100 million for Kane, just sell him. That's my view. Just sell him. He's got to go. He's got to go. If Newcastle give us 100 million, sell him.
Yeah, we know about the ENIC DNA. Thanks, Most Blunted. Yep, they just want to make money. They're a property asset company. They're not a football company.
Sorry, how do you feel about them buying Standard Liège? Like, how's that supposed to benefit us?
Has that gone through?
What?
It's almost.
ENIC are buying Standard Liège, apparently.
Yeah, well, they obviously didn't buy Antwerp, did they? Because after what happened yesterday, it means nothing to us. I mean, what, we're going to now get all our players from Standard Liège, or are we going to send our players there?
What is our DNA? Which is, if we knew this, we'd all be millionaires, I think. Our DNA is for ENIC to make as much money as they can.
Adam had to leave.
Okay, no problem. So basically, we had Adam, the other Adam, on there saying, we don't know what our DNA is. Cam, what's our DNA?
Our DNA is if there's any chance of us winning a cup, we lose interest. If there's any chance of winning a game, we tend to lose interest because we we're a team. We're I mean, you know, I always trying to explain to people that it's at this level, it's about fine margins. You know, when you look at people, the swimmers, the top swimmers in the world, what do they win by? 0.001% of a second to be between the top, and the worst one is maybe 2 seconds behind at the most, right? So why is it if you look at Spurs' stats, our running stats, our performance in the last 10 minutes, we are probably one of the worst teams that there is. So we just don't, our DNA, we just recently has been, we have no staying power. If we go back to the 2016-17 season, one of the things that we knew under Pochettino was that we knew how to see a game out. We just knew how to see a game out. We just don't do that anymore. I mean, even against Newcastle, I mean, 3-1 cruising, didn't bother to even play in the second half, and then we give them a goal and a chance to come back in it, even though they were such a bad team.
And under Pochettino, we didn't know when we were beaten. We used to go right to the end. We never gave up. And now that DNA's all been broken up, Adam. I don't know what it is now.
Our DNA is, but we are a one-half team. Sometimes we play well in the first half. Sometimes we play well in the second half. We do not play well in two halves. And someone needs to tell the team it's 90 minutes of 2 halves, not one.
Oh, okay. Terry, thanks for your call. Any thoughts on the possible ENIC purchase of Standard Liège? Cam, you got any thoughts on that?
Oh, they won't put the money into Tottenham, so they're going to go out and buy Standard Liège. I mean, this is the whole thing that's going to even upset more Tottenham fans as it upsets anybody else. You take one team and turn it into a mediocre.
Concentrate on doing one team right before you start messing around with another team.
They're going to go to another team and turn that into a third-rate team.
Yeah. It could mean they're going to sell Tottenham and just concentrate on Standard Liège, but that would be wishful thinking, wouldn't it?
It would.
We got a question from Sir 12. We have to focus on the winnable competition to take the pressure. I totally agree with you, Sir 12. We thought the Europa Conference League is a winnable cup for us, yet he puts a third-rate team out against Vitesse, who are mid-table. You know, even that team should have been good enough to beat them, and they weren't good enough. So I think the manager has to take a lot of blame for this. You know, how can you make 11 wholesale changes and not have any firepower on the bench? That's all down to Nuno, I'm afraid.
Well, but you can argue that, as I said before, that you have the team yesterday. They don't have any chemistry. They're not used to playing together. It's always important to have the chemistry. Doesn't matter if it's 11 players with ability. If you don't have I don't know how close are these players. I saw the match yesterday and I thought it doesn't look like a tight knit group like friends, or it's a mix of everything. And you have some players who's been way too long in the club, who knows they don't have a future. You have some talents trying to break through, and then you have so you have a mix. You don't have the core chemistry, so that matters. It's so important in football. If you don't have that emotional bond within the group, then it's only names. So we try to set up like tactical and be hard to beat and everything, but you don't have the flow in the play if you don't have the chemistry. I can take an example. Bodø Glimt, who is from the neighbor city here, they beat Roma 6-1 yesterday. Mourinho, of course. And they have very good chemistry. They have a great manager. They have a settled team, just like we had under Pochettino, and they have the belief. And we didn't have that yesterday in that group. None of what I mentioned. So then it's always hard to win football matches.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's an excellent point, Nico. Eric, did anybody from the team yesterday, anybody enhance their position to try and getting into the team against West Ham? Did anybody make a claim for a spot against West Ham?
I think Hill did, despite the quality around him. I think, he has he should be starting soon, and even though I still feel, because Hill sometimes went on the right because they claim Bergwijn's go on the left, but I still think Nuno doesn't know Hill's best position, as with a lot of players on the team right now with Lo Celso. But no, Hill increased his chance of making the first team, which he should be making the first team soon.
Okay. What about you, Cam? Anybody promote themselves to the first team for the West Ham match?
For me, I mean, I don't think all the team had a really bad game. I don't think the back four didn't look that bad. I mean, obviously it was a weakened opposition, and they did score. I think Golini really leaves a lot to be desired, and it was very, very frustrating to think that, he's our backup goalkeeper. I just can't see it right now. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I really can't see it. I think that Lo Celso, if put in the right position and then being fit, should constantly stay. We had an earlier comment about Sessegnon. Problem is he's never fit. The problem with Lo Celso, Sessegnon, is they just play a few games and they get injured. And this is so frustrating for managers and for the club.
I think Sessegnon's got some Argentinian blood in him.
Well, maybe, I don't know. But these are, and I think that Gill definitely, Brian Hill should definitely have been in that team.
I agree with that.
I think the rest of them are squad players, and they're not
Let me give you another. What about Jaffet in right back instead of Royal?
No chance.
No? Why not?
Because we paid a lot of money for Emerson Royal. He could make.
So just because we paid a lot of money doesn't mean if he's not playing well, he shouldn't play.
Team. He's not had bad games, and he needs to run of the team. And because Nico nailed it here. Nailed it very quite. These people, they need to build a relationship. They need to have some kind of harmony. They need to know where they are. In the way that Nuno seems to have this whole thing about doing exactly the opposite of that. So no player actually knows where they stand come to game time. They don't know, am I in? And if I'm in, where am I actually playing?
But I was just thinking, it's a London derby, against West Ham. It's their cup final. Don't you think Jaffet wouldn't understand the passion?
Not after what happened against Arsenal. Not after what happened against Arsenal. Because if he does what he did against Arsenal, he should go. Because that was just an embarrassment to the fans. That was an embarrassment with no passion. We rolled over and said, stick it in us as many times as you want. And
Adam says we're going to stay up. Do you think we're going to stay up this season, guys? Are we going to avoid relegation?
Of course we'll stay up.
I think that's a yes.
Yeah.
No one wants our deadwood. There's only one thing to do, and that's to rip up their contracts they lost. That is something that they did with Aurier. I agree with you, Simon. But, as Cam said, Dele Alli's contract could be worth 25 million, Cam, you were saying, over 3 years?
I think about 7 to 8 million. I've recalculated this.
I don't think we can afford to take the hit on that one. It's just the accountants would go mad. Mm-hmm. You put all that money in and then. Well, especially I'd love to do that, but I don't think it can happen.
3 years ago, he was going to Real Madrid for 100 million, and now we want to rip up his contract.
Yeah. We shouldn't forget the brilliant dribbling Bergwijn showed against Wolves. Perhaps he has potential. I'm forever Steven Bergwijn fan, but these guys are outnumbering me. All of them are telling me he's got to go, but I don't agree.
He was.
Yes, Cam's the guy. Cam, that guy down there. Is it down there?
Down there.
Yeah, he's the one who's saying they should go. I don't agree with that. Me and Eric saying he should stay. So Cam down there, Cam is saying he should go.
Never play again.
And Nico as well down there.
Oh, I always go back to the first couple of matches when Kane was out of the team. I think he looked so much better, Bergwijn, because he was he got the attention like a star player. In the front three was more compatible. We had 3 players with pace, dribbling, and fluidity. And immediately when Kane came back, he looked back to down the pecking order, and his confidence went away. Maybe I'm overanalyzing this, but that was a clear picture for me.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, Nico. I think he's a confidence player, even though Cam hates him. He's a confidence player. If you give him confidence, he plays really well. The first 3 games of the season where Kane wasn't playing, he didn't do too badly, Bergwijn.
No.
First 3 games, man, the guy cannot score, he cannot hit, he cannot dribble, he cannot run with the ball, normally leaves it behind him, he can't pass players, he can't.
Well, he's lacking confidence, Cam. That's what most players do when they lack confidence.
How long has that been, though?
Well, he's been injured, hasn't he? Just come back from injury.
He was dining off the Manchester City goal so much so he got people like Eric to go out and buy his shirt, and after that, he's still dining off that one goal. How long is that going to last?
Eric, what do you think about Joe Rodon? Terry is saying Rodon is bang average, in my opinion, a decent squad player. What do you think, Eric?
He has potential to be. I think. You got to think about. He's a starting center back for Wales, and I feel like he has potential to be a starting center back in the Premier League, whether for us or for anyone else. So I prefer to keep him. And
but just to counter that, Ben Davies is a starting left back for Wales, so I wouldn't put Wales in the best benchmark.
Okay. Who's past their prime age though?
Yeah, he was in his time.
I think Rodon's a good bet, Terry. I might have to disagree with you. No, sorry, I agree with the squad player, but hopefully he'll get his chance.
Yeah.
Joseph, Cam, how about Steven Gerrard? Is that? I think you mean Steven Gerrard there, Cam. Joseph, Steven Gerrard for Spurs. What do you reckon, Cam?
Listen, I can tell you one thing about the reading too much into getting players from leagues like the Scottish League. Solskjaer was a good manager in Norway. Look at what happened there. You cannot, I believe, translate into a league which has got just two teams. Well, actually, really one team, which is Rangers, and one team which almost tries to do, which is Celtic. And there is no other team. So I don't believe that that's a track record that really will translate to the Premier League. He needs to come here and manage a championship team before we can even think about Gerrard.
And Nico, Sir 12 is saying Dyer cuddles Levy. No. I got pictures of mine of Dyer cuddling Levy now. I just it's sickening. But I think you're right. He must have some. I think he's got some compromising pictures of Daniel Levy coming out of a nightclub or something, a gay nightclub or something.
I have a very clear answer on that one because I'm pretty sure he is a very intelligent person, a guy. So he uses that to form good relationship with the managers and the squad. So he has a very strong position in the group. But as I said, he's not a very good footballer. So that's the point I'm making. That he's very good with politics.
Yeah,
but
he's a politician.
Not a very good football player. Period.
Okay, let's see Premier Hotspur. We can sit here and talk about it, ifs and buts, guys, but the main problem is the owners, because nothing will change till these clowns are gone. 100% agree, Premier Hotspur TV. Yeah. I could not agree more than that, buddy. We can talk all we want about managers and players, but until these clowns at the top like Levy and Joe Lewis go, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I don't think they're going to go anywhere. Why are they going to go?
Because Premier Hotspur, put your hand in your pocket, give us 3 billion and we'll get them out together.
Yeah, let's do a fundraising together, Premier Hotspur TV. We'll raise funds to get rid of them. But Cam, this is all very depressing, you know. They put a price tag of 3.5 billion. I'm sure the Saudis would have wanted to buy Tottenham if they could have done, but they couldn't afford it. So what is the way forward for us? Are these guys ever going to leave? Can't we get the Gillette guy from New England Patriots to buy us?
They're going nowhere until the business model collapses. And the business model is not going to collapse yet. They put too much in. They need to get it out. It's no different from the Gillette and the other guy's situation at Liverpool. They weren't going anywhere until they got their pound of flesh. So whoever came in after them had to give them their pound of flesh and more to let them go. I mean, the only reason why the Newcastle got Ashley's gone is because he got his pound of flesh. All right, his pound of flesh is a lot less than this one. But these guys are some greedy people. 3.5 billion. Greed. Nothing else but greed.
Eric, any NFL owners are prepared to buy us? What do you reckon? What about the Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys? Any of those guys want to buy us?
No franchise owners, because they don't know how it operates overseas, and you kind of see that with FSG and Liverpool. You know, these franchises, I mean, they stay in the league constantly. Matter of fact, you can take a season and get the number 1 draft pick. So, but over here, you got to put in the money, the effort to win over here, and I don't think these franchise owners in the States will understand that. So, no.
So who could buy us out? I mean, look, the Saudis have gone for Newcastle. They're not going to be allowed to buy another club. I keep
telling my friends, I hope Jeff Bezos don't look at the Washington football team. I hope he looks at Tottenham, because one thing about, the NFL, we have a salary cap, so you can't, a billionaire like Jeff Bezos, you want to spend your money. You want to flex your money. And you can't really do that in the NFL. And I feel like he should come overseas and spend his money.
Yeah.
If they had put a launch pad to space at the part of the new Spurs stadium, we might have been able to attract them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they didn't.
What about Gallardo? Do anybody know about Gallardo of River Plate? Is he meant to be a good manager?
I read reports of him, and that he plays an attacking style of football. And going to the reason with Ten Hag, is his English good? I don't know, but he fits that profile for us.
Well, Cam, would you take Poch back or not if he doesn't do anything at PSG?
Well, every time PSG start to lose, and we all think Poch is going to do badly and come back, they start winning again. So that happened in the Champions League, I believe, this week too. They were not 1-0 down or whatever and turned that round. Of course, every Spurs fan would, because since we all knee-jerked and wanted Poch out because we had a bad time or few, and we made a couple of mistakes in some of the signings, specifically with Ndombele and not refreshing the squad. We've gone from bad to worse. We've actually deteriorated as a team and gone further backwards. And we're now back to the pre-Poch days when we had AVB. Now, I see nobody's calling for AVB. Yeah? Nobody at all. And we need a Poch type player to get us out of this manager.
What about you, Nico? I know you don't want Poch back, do you?
No, I'm gonna be just honest and say we just have to keep Nuno. I know it's unpopular, but we just need to give him the chance to build his team like Pochettino did. We don't have any choice.
He ain't got that charisma.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna change anything to change the manager. So he just needs to get the team gelling, prioritize the Premier League with one team, and throw the kids or the fringe players in this European, dog competition. So yeah. That's it for me. Just keep the same settled 11 in the Premier League.
Yep. Eric, Leslie Sequeira saying, how do you think a club can change its DNA? Any
When a
ideas,
club changes
Eric?
DNA, I feel it goes from top to bottom. You know,
Money.
someone has to, someone has to set the standards, and that's someone in the top. And so it's going to have to be with owners.
So the owners have to check, but the owners are not changing, so they're going to stick to the DNA they already have, which is no
Tottenham
DNA.
Since they've been here, their so-called Tottenham DNA has only won one trophy. And so if you call that a DNA, I don't know. Pochettino, I still think if we go for Pochettino, we'll be taking a step back into the past, which we need to be going forward. That's what I think about it.
What about Diego Simeone? He'd give a bit more passion on the touchline, wouldn't he, Cam?
Well, we're still not part of the Tottenham DNA attacking side of football. I mean, he's a very, very dour.
He's a winner, though. He's won a La Liga.
And the last place on earth he'd ever come to is Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah.
I think the last place on earth is Real Madrid, but Tottenham would be close behind, yeah? Nuno would probably want to drive Mason to... Yeah, exactly.
I did say that earlier. He'll pay his Uber fare.
But these managers, they're not stupid. We know that Enoch and Levy is rotten to the core, and of course they're smart people. They assess all the owners and the team and the dynamics. It's easy to turn down Tottenham if you're ambitious. Let's be honest. It's easy because he has a track record of throwing the managers, does support them.
Cam, do you want to take the next one? Did we say top four? I don't think we ever said top four. Top 14, maybe.
What we did say, yeah, exactly. We said we're aiming here, Premier, for to stay out of the bottom four. So top four, I'm not so sure about. If we can stay out of the bottom four, it'll be a successful season for Nuno, because his biggest success was he got to seventh once and he kept Wolves up. That's what they say. Nuno kept Wolves up. So Nuno will keep us up. So bottom four, we won't do.
What do you think, Eric? Is Gio Lamela 2.0?
No, not even close. No, they have two different playing styles. You know, Lamela would do his little step overs and ball rolls and all that stuff, but Gio is a more technical dribbler than Lamela. And I find Gio more gifted on the ball than Lamela.
Yeah, he's such a pony. He is such a pony of a player. I think. What does he do that's so good? Come on, guys.
I think he's being played in the wrong position, though. As I said, he's not a defensive midfielder. He's number 10, really.
He should be given more of a freer role in front of Højbjerg and Skip, and he should be given a bit more chance to put some of those passes in. Unfortunately, we're putting Ndombele too much in that position and then play him off of that role, and I don't think it's working.
I don't think it
really
works. You can't play them both in the same team, I think.
No, you can't. You can't do it.
He's a 10.
Yeah, he's got to play in it. But Ndombele is not a 10.
No,
Ndombele is a number 350 in my book.
Terry Wright is saying, do you see
far off the pitch.
Sessegnon getting loaned down in January? It doesn't look like he's going to make it, I suppose. Well, unfortunately, he's injured, but there is an opportunity for him to make it, Cam. Don't you think so?
I mean, he's made of glass, as Steve would say down on the podcast. Made of glass. The guy's never fit.
Yeah.
I don't understand. When he was at Fulham and all that, he was hardly ever injured. He comes to Tottenham and he's injured all the time.
How old is he? He's come back and he said, I think, as I said, they look at the squad and they think, please make me get someone come and crock me because I don't want to be in this squad right now. I do not want to see this be in the squad right now. So he's injured and he ain't going to be coming back for a while. The other thing I heard is that Ancelotti might be coming back for Reguilon in January, exercising that clause. So there's Sessegnon's chance again.
Nico, do you think the Villa game was a turning point for Ndombele?
It's too early to say, but I think he definitely showed the best so far, completing the whole match, and he looked actually happy on the pitch. So I think that was very positive, to be honest. And he is so exciting on the ball. He's not exciting without the ball, but the Villa match was probably the best complete performance from him, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Does he still want to be here, though?
That's the thing. He said he wanted to leave, but if you're playing well and winning, maybe you want to stay.
Yeah, but he looked happy.
What about this one for you, Eric? I don't know if you remember, but Nuno's Wolverhampton had a great chemistry and he built a decent team. All he needs is to be back. Maybe, let's give him a chance and back him. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, he was in his back three. He built the team from the Championship up to the Premier League, but Nuno did overstay his welcome. I mean, fans were calling for his head the 1920 season and the 2021 season. Fans were calling for his head, so he did overstay his welcome. But no, he built a great chemistry. Found Ruben Neves, Raul Jimenez, Adama Traore. Yeah, he had a great team.
Jota.
Jota. Mm-hmm.
Jota as well. Yeah, he sold him. Yeah.
There's a point I want to make about this one quickly, and I know we're going to wrap this up soon, Ray. But what I wanted to say,
sorry, Nico, I had to put that up.
I want to say, just going back to that point, is that with the problem is did you look at how much money he spent? Was it something like 500 or something?
I think he spent over 350 million at Wolves. Yeah, 350 million.
And more than that, and he built the team on that basis. Now, I mean, give me that kind of money, and I'm sure I might be able to build a team. The fact is that he did manage to unearth some players, but they were very highly paid players, and Wolves were punching.
Jorg Mendes players, weren't they?
Yeah, they were punching above their weight. Did he actually get the best out of all of those players for a couple of seasons? Yeah, when they came out at the top, out of the championship, but then they threw so much money at the championship to get out of it that they when they got in there the first season, they had the first season honeymoon, which brings me back to the first season honeymoon. Brentford are having it now. Sheffield United had it in their first season, didn't win a game after that. Derby have had it. Nearly every team in the championship that's come up has had the first season honeymoon. I guarantee you Brentford will stay up and there'll be a top 7 or 8 team. Next season, they'll be relegated. Leeds are almost heading that way this season. Fulham headed that way. They're all headed that way. And then,
Nico, I've got to give you the chance to respond to Bendiciones about this guy is so negative, bro. Come on. Stand up for yourself, Nico.
Well, I heard it before, but to be honest, I'm trying to call it as I see it. I don't put anything in between, so maybe I'm a bit, maybe I exaggerate a bit, but I think this club has fucked me up so many times before. So,
what about Solskjaer for Spurs, Nico?
I don't rate him, even though he's Norwegian. I think he's good with players, man management. But
he's a nice guy. He's a nice
what?
guy. He's a nice guy. He comes across as a nice,
I don't see the tactical prowess, or I don't think he's a strong enough character. So it's a no for me.
Mm-hmm.
Nico, I want to ask you about Premier Hotspur TV. Lo Celso's finished at Spurs. He's had his chances as well. He's nowhere near Ndombele's ability. What's your thoughts on that, Nico?
Yeah, I as I said, he's a pony. I think every time I see him, he has the close control and the dynamism. Yeah, his movement, but no end product. Gets injured a lot. I see also he runs with his head down. I don't see him making it. I can't see him turning into no more than. People try to compare him with Lamela, but to be honest, he was better. I think Lamela had more because he had the fight. He had. Well, I didn't rate him either, but to be honest, I don't think Lo Celso is not Lamela.
No, I would definitely have Ndombele over Lo Celso any day.
Well,
I totally agree with
I
Premier
don't
as
think that's a fair comparison, and I think that to sit there and say that Ndombele is a highly skillful player after what we've seen season in, season out. He scored 1 goal against I think it's in Newcastle that he scored against. He didn't score against Villa, from what I can see. He's had 1 goal. He hasn't scored most of last season. He was absolutely appalling. He dwells on the ball. His passing ability is poor. He's had a good game against Newcastle, which is one of the worst teams in the Premier League. He had a reasonable game against Aston Villa, who got turned over even worse than we did by Arsenal today, which I think are a mediocre team right now and are deeply on the slide. And we're basing that, and Ndombele is a good player. And Ndombele is responsible for the dismissal of 2 managers, and he's about to get his 3rd victim, in my view.
He's a hit me. Adrian Silva, Fonseca for Newcastle. I think that's going to happen, isn't it? Fonseca's going to happen.
He is. It's happening now.
Yeah, it's happening now. I think Adrian. That's going to happen.
It's so interesting because think about it, guys. He was so close to becoming our manager, and I think
Paratici put an end to it, didn't he?
Yeah, he was so disappointed when it didn't materialize, and now he has probably the best opportunity of his life.
Yes.
Totally
otherwise, we'd be calling for his head by now.
Can we fit Lo Celso and Ndombele in the same starting 11, Eric? I know you're eating away there, mate, but can we fit them in the same 11 or not?
We've seen it happen last year under Mourinho. He played the midfield 3 of Lo Celso and Ndombele and Hobier. I want to say it was against Lask away, and we was just completely open in the midfield. And so I see no way we can fit them to both in our midfield while still having, a somewhat of a defensive structure. So
especially with how well Skippy's been playing as well.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I mean, you could fit them if you could play a 4-2-3-1 and have Lo Celso on the right and Ndombele at the cam position, and Son on the left. That might be the only way I can see them playing together, but not part of the midfield 3 with Hobier or Skip.
Cam, take that last one, Premier Hotspur TV.
I've said this last time. We're a squad of average players. We're a squad. We have too many players in one position. Like I said, Dele, Ndombele, Lo Celso. What else can we put in there? Mora, Bergwijn. Potentially now we're putting Hill in that position, right? And apart from maybe Hill, who's got potential there, Mora, who is also does a lot for the team. The rest are all has-beens. Some of them are below average, and some of them are basically average. None of those players would make a top 4 team. None of them would ever get anywhere near a top team. So until we get rid of the rot and the junk, I'd rather have one Ericsson in the team than have all of those players.
Well, let's go. Before we finish it all, let's go around everybody. Which players from our current first team would get into any of the top 4 teams? Nico?
Top 4 team?
Okay, you might have to exclude Kane and Son.
Yeah, exclude Kane and Son because we know that. But which other players would get into Liverpool, Man City, Man United or Chelsea?
No one.
Okay.
Period.
Cam?
Potentially, I would say Højbjerg might get in.
Maybe anybody else?
Højbjerg, Ndombele, and Lo Celso. I'm being serious.
No, that's your choice. I think Premier TV have summed this up 100% beautifully. You take out Kane and Son from that team, and we are bang average team. We could be mid-table, and nobody would know any difference.
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed.
Mid-table
I totally agree with you guys.
£1 billion pounds.
Totally agree. We're going to call it a day now, guys. I think this has been a great stream. Thank you very much. Thanks to everybody that's been watching Premier Hotspur TV, Terry Wright, Sir 12, Adrian Silva, Josimar, Bendencioni, even though I can't pronounce your name properly, apologies. But, Adam, everybody, Leslie, everybody that came on the stream asked a question. Thank you very much. We really appreciate your engagement. We really had a great time. I'm going to leave the final thoughts with our 3 guys and give a prediction for West Ham. So let's start with Eric.
3-1 3-2 West Ham.
Okay, Cam.
I can never want to say that West Ham will beat Tottenham. So 2-2.
And Nico, you're not meant to be, you got to be positive, yeah? You're not meant to be negative.
Yeah, I was actually going to say I think we're going to build on the victory because I think it will be a settled team. I could see signs we were progressing, so I will say 2-1 to us.
Nice.
Okay, I'm gonna go 2-2 like Cam, and I forgot to mention Most Blunted, Amanda Fazy, everybody, super Spurs fan, everybody that came on and gave comments and engaged. We really appreciate that. We look forward to seeing you next week. Take care, guys. Have a great week. Stay safe, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Thank you again.
Come on, you Spurs.
Thanks.
Come on, you Spurs. Bye-bye.
Come on, you Spurs.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Nico, and thanks, Cam. Appreciate that. Bye-bye.
Bye.